Okay. So earlier, wait 1 second. We had done shares. How do we raise long-term finance? Now, there were many methods, like these seven methods out here of raising long-term finance. The first one was issue of shares. When we have to raise a long-term finance, so the company issues out shares. Now, we had done it last time that there are two types of shares: equity shares and preference shares. Equity shares depends on the market. If the market, if there is profit, then you get more amount of money, more amount of dividend. That is the interest that you get on shares is called dividend. And if there is a loss in the market, then obviously you will also have to suffer the loss. Now, then we had done this limitations and advantages also. We had to start preference shares. Now, preference shares are those shares which carry preferential rights in respect of dividend and return of capital. Like these shares, they get the preferential rights. Before dividend is given out to equity shares, the dividend is handed over to the people who have preferential shares. Before any, okay, yeah, second line is that only. Before any dividend is paid to the equity shares, the dividend at a fixed rate must be paid on the preference shares. However, this dividend is payable only if there are profits. The same thing like we had in equity shares, only if there is a profit, then you'll be getting the dividend. Obviously, if there is no profit, you will not get the dividend. Again, at the time of winding up, when the company is winding up or closing down, the holder of the preference shares will get the return of their capital before anything is paid to the equity shareholder. So here also, as the name says, preferential shares, like we prefer this more to equity shares. So if the company has winded up or it has closed down, then obviously the money of the shareholders is returned. So first the money of the preferential shareholders will be returned, and after that it will be given out to equity shareholders. The holders of preference shares do not have any voting right. The only difference is they don't have any voting right, while the equity shareholders have got voting right. They have got a say in the board of direction of the company. So they cannot take part in the management of the company. It is not compulsory on the part of the company to issue preference shares, and it is also not necessary that a company has to issue preference shares. It is not mandatory. Types of preference shares. A company has the option to issue different types of preference shares. Let's see what are the different types of preference shares. Okay, first one is convertible and non-convertible. Now, sometimes somebody has bought preference shares and he want to. Uh, okay, just a second. I've got a phone call. हेलो. हाँ बोलो. तो खिला दो यार, बहुत टाइम से नहीं निकला. बेबो को ले ले आना. मेरे को नहीं चाहिए. हाँ तो तुम खाओ यार, मैं कोई बच्चा हूँ क्या? तुम खाओ तो मैं भी खाऊंगी. नहीं 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 नहीं. ओके बाय. मैं नहीं खाऊंगी. ओके. हाँ. So convertible and non-convertible preference shares. Now sometimes a person has got preference shares, and in between, after a year or something, he wants like he says, I don't want preference shares because I don't have any say in the management of the company. I want equity shares. So there are preference shares which can be converted into equity shares after a specified period of time. The time is specified, like for example, after 3 years only you can convert, after 2 years or after 5 years only you can convert. So these are the specific time is told beforehand, but you can convert your preference shares to equity shares. These are called convertible preference shares, and those which cannot be converted are called non-convertible. Then we have cumulative and non-cumulative preference shares. Now, in cumulative preferences, sometimes this happens like the company does not give the dividend. It says, now this month I'm not going to pay you the dividend, I'll pay it next month. Or you have not collected your dividend. So whatever dividend is not paid is accumulated, it is collected, and then later on in the future years, it is given out to you. It is paid. collectively. The whole thing is paid. This is called cumulative preference shares. But there are non-cumulative preference shares also, which if you don't collect your dividend, or if the dividend is not paid for a particular year, then when the next year comes, then the previous year's dividend is cancelled. It is not given. Right? So that is non-cumulative. It is not collected and it is not paid also. Third, participating and non-participating preference shares. Participating preference shares have a right to share the profit after making payment of dividend at a pre-decided rate to the equity shares, and the non-participating preference shares do not enjoy such a right. Now, when the dividend is paid to the equity shares, then and they have a profit, the company has a profit, then the preference shares have a right to share the profit also. This is participating in case of participating preference shares. But for non-participating preference shares, the profit is not shared. Then we have redeemable and irredeemable preference shares. Preference shares having a fixed date of maturity are called as redeemable. Now, maybe you have bought preference shares and the maturity period is 5 years. So after that 5-year period is over, the company gives the entire amount back to you along with the dividend and everything. So the amount is returned to the redeemable preference shareholders, right? Immediately when the fixed period expires. But for irredeemable, it is only when the company is liquidified at the time of liquidation, then the amount is returned to the irredeemable preference shareholders. Difference between equity shares and preference shares. We have already learned the meaning and features of equity and preference shares. Now let us find the difference between these two. Okay, this is the table. It is summarized on the basis of what we have read earlier, like choice. So you just go through it. Choice for equity shares. It is compulsory to issue these. It is compulsory for the company to issue equity shares, but preference shares, it is not compulsory for the company to issue preference shares. Payment of dividend. For equity shares, only when the dividend is paid to preference shares, then only the equity shareholders get the dividend. And here, the preference shares, they get the dividend first before equity shareholders. Return of capital, when the company is winded up or when the company closes down, then the capital is refunded to the equity shareholders only after the preference shareholders get their amount, right? And the same is for preference share also, that they get it before the equity shareholders. Voting right, equity shareholders have got voting rights. Preference shareholders do not have any voting right. Accumulation of dividend. Here on equity share, there is no accumulation. So the dividend is not carried forward. Usi saal lena hai to lo, otherwise you will not be paid in the next year. Here in preference shares, the unpaid dividends are accumulated or they are collected if they are not paid, and then they are carried forward and paid in future years. Okay. After issue of shares, the second method how we raise a long-term finance is the issue of debentures. The companies can raise long-term funds by issuing debentures that carry assured rate of return for investors in the in the form of a fixed rate of interest. Now for debentures, like for shares, what was it? If there is a profit, then you'll get interest on it, that is you'll get your dividend. But if there is a loss, then you will not get any dividend on it. But it's different for debentures. You get a fixed rate. In shares, there is no fixed rate. If the market is good, you get a higher rate. If the market is not good, then you don't get a good rate. But for debentures, you get a fixed rate of interest. It is known as debt capital or borrowed capital of the company. Now, this is called the borrowed capital. Like the company has borrowed this capital. Whatever amount is invested in debentures, Like for example, I have a company and both of you, you buy my debentures. So the money that is coming to me is the borrowed capital. The debenture is a written acknowledgement of money borrowed. It specifies the terms and conditions such as rate of interest, time of repayment, security offered, etc. So it is sort of a loan that the company is taking from you, and the debentures is the written acknowledgement. It is sort of a receipt, and in that is written the terms and conditions like rate of interest, time when the repayment will be done, securities, etc. is all mentioned in the debentures. These are offered to the public to subscribe in the same manner as is done in the case of shares. Like shares are sold to the public, similarly, debentures are also sold to the public. The debenture holders are the creditors of the company. That is, they have given a loan to the company and are entitled to get interest irrespective of profit earned by the company. So whatever profit, doesn't matter, high or low, they will get the fixed rate of interest that has been mentioned in the debentures, in the terms and conditions. They do not have any voting rights, so they do not interfere in the day-to-day management of the business. So it's none of their business. They don't have to interfere. They just will get their fixed rate of interest. Ordinarily, debentures are fully secured. The debenture holders, they don't undergo any loss. In case the company fails to pay interest on debentures or repay the principal amount, the debenture holders can recover it from sale of its assets. Now, suppose you have bought my company's debentures and I go under a loss and I'm not able to pay you any interest or even refund your amount, then when my assets will be sold, the debenture holders will get the money from that, but they will get a refund. It is not in the case of any shareholders. Company is in a loss, then the shareholders are also in a loss. But debenture holders are never in a loss. They will get their money somehow. Merits of debentures. Now, what are the advantages or merits? Debentures are secured loans. On winding up of the company, they are repayable before making any payment to equity and preference shareholders. Now, debentures are very secure and safe. And when the company is closed down, obviously, as we studied earlier, the company has to pay the money to preference shareholders first and then to the equity shareholders. But it has to pay the money first and foremost to the debenture holders. After that, it has to pay the money to preference shareholders and then the equity shareholders. Second point, the debenture holders get assured return irrespective of profit. Now, debenture holders, uh, uh, it doesn't matter what the profit is to them, they will get whatever fixed rate of interest is allotted. Issue of debentures enables the company to provide high return to equity shareholders when the earnings of the company are good. Now, if the company is giving out debentures, that means it's getting some money as loan. So whenever there is whenever the company has got a good earning, it is able to give a high return also to the equity shareholders. This is called trading on equity. Next, debenture holders have no right either to vote or take part in the management of the company. The debentures simply raise the capital of the company. There is no interference in the management. Last, interest paid on debentures is treated as an expense and is charged to the profits of the company. The company thus saves income tax. Now, obviously, the company has to pay interest to the debenture holders regularly, whatever rate of interest is mentioned in their terms and conditions. So this interest that the company is paying is considered as an expense, and it is charged to the profits of the company. So whatever interest is being paid on debentures, it saves income tax, right? Because it is treated as an expense. Limitations of debentures. Now, what are the disadvantages? If the earnings of the company are uncertain and unpredictable, issue of debentures may pose serious problems due to fixed obligation to pay interest and repay the principal. So, When the company expects good and stable income, then only it should issue debentures. Now, they are saying that it's not very advisable to issue debentures when your profit is unstable. You don't know whether you are going to get a profit or a loss. When the profit is uncertain, when you don't know about the earnings. So debentures, you have to pay a fixed rate of interest even if you undergo any loss. So it is better not to give out any debentures. You give out debentures only when you have a stable income. You know that you will be getting a regular income. Then only it is advisable to issue debentures. The company which issues debentures creates a charge on its assets in favor of debenture holders. So a company not having enough fixed assets cannot borrow money by issuing debentures. Now the the company is issuing debentures. That means it is taking a loan from the public, and whenever you take a loan, you need to have some security, right? So you need to have assets so that if you undergo any loss, then you are able to pay the debenture holders by selling off your assets. So if you don't have enough fixed assets, you cannot issue debentures. The assets of the company once mortgaged cannot be used for further borrowing. So for issuing debentures reduces the borrowing capacity of the issue of debentures reduces the borrowing capacity of the company, right? So if you once you are issuing debentures, that means you have already taken a loan in against your fixed assets. So now you cannot borrow any money from any other organization or bank against your assets because you have already issued debentures, right? And you have given up your assets as security. Trading on equity. Trading on equity refers to the use of high debt for ensuring higher returns for the equity shareholders. Now, the company promises that for equity shareholders, if the profit is high, then the return also will be high. The interest paid to the shareholders also will be high. Now, how to pay higher return to equity shareholders? For that, they need more money. So, debentures are issued, loan is taken, that is, you get an additional capital, right? So, with that additional capital, the equity shareholders are paid higher returns. This is workable when the profitability is high and the rate of return on investment of funds is higher than the rate of interest to be paid on the borrowed money. That is possible only obviously when you are getting a good amount of profit. Let us take an example. Suppose 5 crores is required to be invested on a project that may give 20% per annum. If the management decides to raise rupees 2.50 crore by issuing equity shares of 10 each and 2.5 crores by issuing 10% debentures, then the shareholders will get a return of 30% on their funds. Now see, total earning 1, 10, 100, 1000, 10,000, lakhs, 10 lakhs, crore, 1 crore. Interest on debenture at 10%, 25 lakhs. Earning after paying the interest, 75 lakhs. So return on equity share capital, when you divide it, it is 30%. Now if the company decides to raise 80% by debt and only 20% by shares, that is rupees 4 crores by 10% debenture and 1 crore by shares, the return on equity share capital will be as follows. Total earning 1 crore. Now interest on debenture at the rate of 10% is 40 lakhs, and after paying interest, how much is left? 60 lakhs is left. So how much will you give to equity shareholders? 60 upon 1 crore into 100, you divide the percentage, 60% you are giving. Now we can see that with the use of higher proportion of debt, the rate of return on equity capital has simply doubled. Now here, what did you do? You increased your debentures that you issued, right? That is, you took a higher loan from the public. So you were able to give a higher return to the equity shareholders. Now, types of debentures. Debentures may be classified as like the shares, preference shares were redeemable and non-redeemable. So the debentures are also redeemable and irredeemable. The debentures which are repayable after a fixed date or after the maturity of their time period, the money is paid back, they are called redeemable. And if the money, there is no fixed period to repay the money, they are called irredeemable debentures because the company is not bound to pay the money back. These debenture holders cannot demand to get their money back as long as the company does not make any default in payment of interest. So these debentures are also called perpetual debentures. So irredeemable debentures are also called perpetual debentures. Second, convertible and non-convertible. Now, here the debentures which can be converted to equity shares are called convertible, and which cannot be converted into equity shares are called non-convertible. Third, secured and unsecured debentures. For secured debentures, there is a charge on the assets of the company as security. This charge may be fixed, that is on specified assets, or it may be floating. Secured debentures are also known as mortgage debentures. On the other hand, unsecured debentures are issued with merely a promise of payment without having any charge on any assets as security. Okay. Now this means that for secured debentures, if the company undergoes any loss and is not able to pay the interest, then the assets of the company will be sold to repay the money. But for unsecured debentures, there is no issue. The assets are not charged, right? So that is why these debentures are also like the assets of the company will not be sold to repay for the unsecured debentures. So these unsecured debentures are also called simple debentures or naked debentures. So nowadays debentures are invariably issued as secured. Nowadays only secured debentures are only, people are obviously more interested in secured debentures. Registered and bearer debentures. For registered debentures, the issuing company maintains a record of the debenture holders. Whatever company is giving out the debentures, it maintains a record. Any sale or transfer must be registered with the company. Suppose you're selling off your debenture to someone else, so you should get it registered with the company. On the other hand, bearer debentures. Now, what are bearer debentures? These are negotiable instruments and transferable by mere delivery. For registered debentures, if you are selling it to someone else, you have to inform the company and get it registered. But for bearer debentures, whoever has the debentures is the owner of the interest on debentures. It need not be informed to the company. भाई 500 का नोट है, जिसके हाथ में 500 का नोट है, अब नोट उसी का है. So same thing is with the case of bearer debentures. Now, difference between shares and debentures. Read the table and in fact learn it also. It is based on whatever we have learned earlier about shares and debentures. Okay.